Today is travel day. We're leaving Edinburgh for our first next destination, which is Perth. We'll be there for 5 days or 4 days or something like that. Let's go.
We said goodbye to our Airbnb host Lucy as we headed out of Edinburgh and hopped on a short train north to Perth. Perth is only about an hour and a half ride, but it's far enough out there. There's a lot to see along the road. I love riding on trains because the scenery changes so fast, and to be honest, being an American, I'm kind of glad I don't have to drive. You go through cities and towns and villages and countryside, and it just goes on and on. The scenery changes, and it's beautiful. The city of Perth has a population around 47,000 people, and it sits along the River Tay. It's one of the oldest settlements in all of Scotland, and it's a lot quieter than the capital, but that doesn't mean there wasn't a lot to do while we were here. There was definitely something to see. One thing I noticed on the map was the Greyfriars had a burial ground, and naturally I was curious and I wanted to see, because every cemetery is a little different. I was especially intrigued by this monument, the Weeping Mourner. Haunting. Definitely haunting. We took a quick pause at the Fair Maid's house. It's inspiration for a Walter Scott novel, The Fair Maid of Perth, before we headed to the Perth Art Gallery. The Perth Art Gallery, it's free to enter and beautifully curated. It's a wonderful mix of local art and national art, making it a perfect rainy day stop. The next morning we walked toward the River Tay and found the Black Watch Castle and Museum. We didn't go in. Admission was just over £12, but the grounds are open and worth the stroll. Not too far away was the North Inch. It looks like an unassuming sports fields now, but in the 1300s this was the site of clan battles and royal musters. Another of Perth's free museums turned out to be our highlight. It tells the city's story from its earliest days as a Pictish settlement right up to modern times. The crown jewel is the Stone of Scone, the coronation stone of Scottish kings. Photography wasn't allowed, but standing in front of it still was pretty awesome. Apparently somebody tried to vandalize it not long ago and it shut down that part of the museum for 3 months. Feel free to look it up on the news, but I'll tell you, their security is much, much stronger now. Before wrapping up our visit to Perth, I took one more walk along the River Tay. The city opens up along the water. Quiet paths, bright autumn leaves. And church spires, you can see it just lay out across the river. It's pretty amazing. Norie-Miller Walk leads under the bridge toward Rodney Gardens. Rodney Gardens was really a beautiful space. It was really enjoyable walking through the trails. If you want to, you can go all the way up to a woodland park on the hill, or Branklin Garden. These are all places you can visit. I walked to Branklin Garden, but chose to not go in. Instead, I came home to check on Lisa. It may have seemed like we had a low-key weekend here in Perth, but there was something to do every day and every hour if we wanted it. It has an amazing amount of art and culture and history and outdoor activities. Tomorrow is travel day, and we'll be heading to Glasgow. And if you're really interested in food, check out our food tasting from Rascal's Cafe, which will be arriving on Tasting Our Way soon. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't yet, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.